So we're going to do a 20-minute gentle yoga, approximately 20-minute gentle yoga session. And we'll start laying on our back. So lying down on the mat. Legs can be either fully extended into Shavasana or bending the knees to ease the lower back if that's what you'd like to do. Hands alongside the body with the palms facing up towards the ceiling and closing the eyes. So we start with those nice long equal inhalations and exhalations through the nose. So nice deep inhalation and exhalation. So just concentrating on the breathing, making sure that you're using the whole of the respiratory system, really feeling the belly expand as we inhale and contract as we exhale. So as we allow the mind and the body to slow down and just get ready for this nice, gentle practice. I'm going to take our hands out into that nice big full stretch, so really extending the arms and the legs. As we inhale, we stretch nice and long, and exhale and relax. One more time, inhale, stretch, exhale, relax. Then bringing the right knee into the chest, interlacing the hands around the knee, pulling the knee in for a nice tight hug, feeling the compression on the hip flexor, extending that right leg up towards the ceiling, taking the hands behind the thigh, pulling the leg down towards the body for a nice hamstring stretch, pointing and flexing twice, using the full ankle joint, and then 2 circles of the ankles in each direction. And now we're going to go into half happy baby. So bending that knee, pulling it over to the right shoulder, taking hold of either the thigh, the shin or the foot, pulling the knee down towards the mat. If it's more comfortable, you can bend the left knee, feeling that nice hip stretch. Then bending the knee, left knee, and placing the right foot into reclined pigeon. So bringing the left foot above the mat, interlacing the hands behind that left thigh, pulling the knee in towards the chest and feeling that hip stretch. Nice deep breath, keeping both feet firmly flexed and active. Placing the left foot down onto the mat and taking the hands nice and wide as we go into a twist. So taking that right foot down to the left side, placing that right foot onto the mat. Gaze should stay up towards the ceiling or towards the right hand. Nice deep breath. Back to the centre, placing the feet hip width apart as we get ready for a bridge. So taking the hands alongside the body, feet hip width apart, knees pointing directly up towards the ceiling as we peel the back up off the mat and up onto our upper back. So really feeling as though we're pulling those inner thighs in towards each other, really engaging the whole of the bottom and the thighs, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling and feeling the strength in the thighs as the feet press into the ground. Nice deep breaths. And then lowering the back slowly down to the mat as we go on to the other side. So extending the right leg, pulling the left knee into the chest. Nice big hug. And then extending that left leg up towards the ceiling, hands behind the thigh as we feel that nice hamstring stretch. Pointing and flexing that foot slowly twice, using the whole of the joint. And then 2 big ankle circles in each direction. And then into half happy baby again, so bending that left knee into the shoulder, taking hold of the shin or the foot, pulling the knee down towards the mat, feeling that nice big stretch in the hips. Nice Nice deep breath, and then into reclined pigeon, so bending that right knee and placing the foot onto the right thigh, knee in towards the chest to feel that nice stretch in the hip in our reclined pigeon. Nice deep breath. Placing the right foot down onto the mat, extending the arms wide as we go into our twist. So the left foot goes down towards the floor on the right side, gaze towards the ceiling or the left hand. Nice deep breath in that twist. Then back to centre and into bridge again. So feet hip width apart as we peel our back up off the mat, taking the hips up towards the ceiling, pulling those inner thighs together, really pushing into the feet, pushing the hips slightly further up towards the ceiling, making sure we're not scrunching our chin and chest, so take the chin towards the ceiling. Nice deep breath. Hips towards the ceiling again, and then slowly lowering the spine down. Knees into the chest, a couple of circles in each direction. And we're going to roll up to a seated position. So taking the hands behind the thighs, a couple of rocks backwards and forwards, up into a nice seated position, cross-legged. I'm going to start with some shoulder rolls. So 3 in each direction, so shoulders up to the ears and back for 1, 2, and 3, and then back 1, and 2, and 3. Taking the chin down to the chest, feeling that nice stretch in the back of the neck. Nice big breath. Sweeping the chin round to the right shoulder for a stretch in the left side of the neck. Chin towards the ceiling for front throat stretch. And over to the left shoulder for the stretch on the right hand side of the neck. Back down to the chest, and then 2 full circles in each direction. So sweeping the chin slowly all the way around, up to the top, back round to the chest, and then back in the opposite direction to the left, all the way up to the ceiling, trying to relax the shoulders when we're doing this, over to the right, and then back down to the chest. Centering the head as we take our arms up towards the ceiling for a nice big stretch, and then over to the right for a side bend. So placing the right hand down, stretching that left arm out, pulling the thumb to the back of the room, keeping the bottom firmly planted on the mat. Back to centre and over to left, so placing the left hand down, stretching the right hand over, pulling the thumb to the back. Nice big stretch along the right hand side of the body. As we go into a twist, so hands up towards the ceiling, placing the left hand onto the right knee. As we look towards our right shoulder, nice tall spine, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Back to centre as we twist to the left. So right hand onto the left knee, looking towards the left shoulder, tall spine, nice deep breaths. Taking the hands back up to centre, placing the hands behind, either interlacing the hands or placing the hands on the mat, rolling the shoulders back for a nice chest stretch. Then taking the hands into the front for a fold. So walking the hands out to a comfortable position. A nice stretch in that lower back, taking the head down towards the mat. Nice big breath. And then we're going to walk the hands off to the right hand side. Lowering the forehead again, nice big breath, feeling the side stretch this time. then all the way over to the left. Nice deep breath. And then back to centre, walking the hands in as we go up onto our knees for cat-cow. So up into tabletop, wrists directly into the shoulders, knees under the hips. As we inhale, lowering the stomach, raising the chin and the tailbone for our cow. Exhaling into cat, so really arching that upper back for 3 more with the breath. So inhaling cow, exhaling cat, inhaling cow, exhaling cat, and last time, inhaling cow and exhaling cat. Bringing the back nice and level back into tabletop as we go up into downward facing dog. So curling the toes under, taking the tailbone up towards the ceiling, pedaling the feet, so stretching and bending alternately the legs as we really feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Taking the tailbone up towards the ceiling so we can feel a nice stretch along the side body. And then bringing the feet to a standstill and working those heels down towards the mat. Nice deep breath. Bending the knees and walking the feet forwards into our ragdoll forward fold. So left foot behind the left hand, right foot behind the right hand. As we take hold of opposite elbows, allowing the lengthening of the spine and the crown of the head to fall down towards the mat. Option here to do a nice gentle sway from side to side, so nice and slowly and gently from side to side. Then releasing the hands and a nice slow roll up to mountain pose, so bending the knees, allowing the hands to hang, and the hands are the last things that come up as we roll up into our mountain pose, pulling the shoulders back, rolling them back, nice tall body in our mountain pose. And we're going to place our hands onto our lower back as if we're placing them in our back pockets of our jeans, rolling the shoulders back for a back bend, so nice gentle flex to the knees, feet hip width apart, as we take our hips forwards and our head up and back into a nice little back bend, making sure that the neck's comfortable, we're not over bending, and we can still breathe nice, long, slow breaths. And then back up to standing. One big sweep of the arms up into a tall mountain, so a nice big tall mountain. Bending the back again, hands together, and then releasing down as we go into our standing sequence. So from the top of the mat, we're going to step back into a crescent lunge. So stepping the left leg back into our crescent lunge. So nice bend to that front leg, nice bend to the back leg, so we've got nice erect body. Taking the hand up into our crescent lunge, nice tall crescent lunge as we go into a twist to the right. So the right hand goes back, left hand goes forward. So nice big breath in that position. Then sweeping round to our warrior two. So sweeping the arms round as we go into our warrior two. Nice strong body, reverse warrior. So left hand down, right hand up as we get that nice back bend and side stretch. And then over into our side angle, so our right arm comes down onto our right thigh, extending the left arm over. We're not placing any weight on this right arm, we're using the body to keep us in a position. Back to warrior two as we go into our 5-pointed star. So 5-pointed star to the side, nice big stretch. Hands together as we go down into our goddess squat, so hands come down to prayer at heart center. Knees are pushing to the back of the room, nice tall back, nice deep breath in that position. Up to 5-pointed star. Warrior 2 to the back of the mat, so bending the left knee, taking the arms into Warrior 2. Nice deep breath as we go into our triangle. So straightening that left leg as we bend over to the left. So the hand comes down to the knee, the shin or the floor, into that nice big triangle pose, making sure we're pulling that right shoulder back. It's a side bend. Bending the knee back into Warrior 2. 5-pointed star again. As we go into a forward fold, so toes and heels come in alignment, hands onto the hips. As we fold over, either with a nice flat back, or we can take the hands to the legs or the floor, making sure we're not hyper extending those legs. Keep them a nice gentle flex in the knees, allowing the crown of the head to drape to the mat again. Nice deep breaths. Back up to standing, hands onto the hips as we come back into our Warrior 2 to the front. So hands into that Warrior 2 as we sweep into a crescent lunge. So sweeping that left arm round back into our crescent lunge, and we're going to step to the front onto our right leg into a tree. So bringing that left foot into a tree, hands down to heart center, and we're going to hold tree for 3 nice deep breaths. And we're going to go from here into a chair. So bring the left foot down to meet the right, extending the arms out in front as we sit down into our chair, making sure we're not curling that tailbone. The tailbone goes down towards the mat and we've got no tension in the neck or the shoulders. Nice deep breath. And then releasing back up to standing as we repeat that sequence on the other side. So stepping the right leg back into our crescent lunge, taking our hands up as we go twist to the left. So right hand forward, left hand back. Nice twist. Sweeping round to our Warrior 2. So hands come round, nice deep sink into that left thigh. For our reverse warrior, reverse. Into our side angle. So placing that left arm on the thigh. Nice big breath. Back to Warrior 2. 5-pointed star to the side. This time we're going to flow through our goddess. So inhaling, hands up to the top. Exhaling, going through prayer. Then inhaling, sweeping our hands back up again. Exhaling through goddess squat. One more time. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling back up and into Warrior 2 to the back. Straightening that right leg as we go into triangle. So leaning over to the right. Nice big side bend. Back to Warrior 2. 5-pointed star as we go into our forward fold. So toes and heel in alignment, hands behind the back this time as we fold over into that forward fold. Hands can remain on the bottom or extend over for a nice shoulder stretch. Nice big breath. Back up to standing, so halfway, hands under the hips and then back up. Warrior 2 to the front again. So Warrior 2, sweeping round to crescent lunge. As we go into tree again, this time on the left foot, so the right foot comes in to our tree pose to hold for 3 breaths. Bring the foot down to meet the left as we go into our chair again. So taking our hands out, lowering down into that chair. And you can stay in the chair this time, or can take it to flying chair. So going up onto our toes and sweeping our arms back. And holding, nice big breath. Then back up to standing. And And release as we take our feet as wide as the mat. And we're going to lower down into our Malasana squat. So lowering down, nice big hip stretch as we lower down, trying to keep our feet flat. If you want to go up onto your toes into a froggy, feel free. Hands to heart center as we use our elbows to push our knees slightly further apart for a nice big hip stretch. And hold. Then lowering the bottom down onto the mat and extending the feet out long for a nice forward fold. So legs can either be straight or with a little gentle bend in the knees as we take our torso down onto the thighs and then bending the head, bowing the head down towards the legs, feeling a nice stretch in that lower back but no pain. If you've got any pain whatsoever, back off, but really just allowing gravity to pull the body down towards the legs, and over time we'll be able to straighten our legs a little bit longer. Just taking nice long breaths. Releasing up to seated as we go into a twist. So bending the right knee and either on the inside or the outside of the left leg. Taking the left arm around, pulling that knee in close to the body, and then taking that right hand behind the right hip as we turn to look towards our right shoulder, keeping the left foot flexed and active. Nice deep breaths. And releasing as we go on to the other side, so extending the right leg, left leg over that right one, hugging the left knee, taking that left hand behind the left hip, nice tall spine again as we look towards our left shoulder, right foot flexed and active. Nice deep breaths. Releasing back to the front as we lower slowly down onto our back using our core. So extending our arms out and a nice slow roll down onto our back. And as we go down onto the back, we cross our right leg over our left. So we have a nice tight cross of the legs. And we're going to pull those knees into the chest. So pulling the knees to the chest, holding on to either the front knee, the back knee, or maybe the shins or feet as we pull it tightly into the stomach. For a nice hip stretch, and also we're massaging those internal organs as we breathe deeply, the stomach expands and we get that compression, aiding our digestive system. Releasing the left foot down to the mat, extending the arms out to the side, putting all the weight onto the left foot, raising the hips up off the mat. We swing the hips to the right hand side and we place our body down on the outside of that left hip and let the knees drop over to the left. Keeping the shoulders and back flat on the mat. And then taking our head, our gaze either to the ceiling or over towards our right hand. And just relaxing in that nice supine twist. Rocking back to centre as we repeat that on the other side. So crossing the left leg over the right into reclined shoestring, pulling the knees into the chest, holding on to the knees or the feet, the shins, and just pulling the knees towards the chest for that nice hip stretch. Releasing the right foot down to the mat, hands out to the side as we put the weight into our right foot, raise the hips up off the floor, Swing the hips to the left and place down on the outside of the right hip, and the knees drop over to the right this time. Gaze towards the ceiling or the left hand as we just relax into that twist. Really feeling the whole of the respiratory system working as the belly expands and contracts. Rolling back to the centre, bringing the knees in for one final hug. So really bringing them in nice and tightly. Nice deep breath. Then placing the feet out for windshield wipers, so as wide as the mat with the toes pointing out, as we take the knees over to the right, left, and one more time each side. And then we move into Shavasana. So legs can be flat on the floor as wide as the mat, allowing the feet to drape out, or bending the knees to release tension in the lower back. Hands alongside the body, palms facing up and eyes closed. So trying to get as much of the back as flat onto the mat as possible, and allowing every single muscle in the body to completely relax. Just doing a full body scan from the tips of the toes all the way along the body up to the top of the head, as we take some nice breaths together, just relaxing the body in silence for about 6 breaths. Then slowly starting to wiggle the fingers and toes, moving the wrists and ankles, and gently moving the head from side to side. Interlacing the fingers and taking the body for that nice big full body stretch again. So pointing the toes and stretching. Releasing the hands, bending the knees, placing the feet flat onto the floor, and then rolling over onto the right hand side. And just taking a couple of breaths there. Noticing how the body feels now at the end of the practice. And then slowly pushing up into the final cross-legged position. It's a nice tall spine, hands in prayer at heart centre. As we take the forehead down towards the fingers, and I say namaste. Namaste.